Good morning, class. This is Mrs. Compty here. Today we're going to talk about a very important safety issue called SafeTouch. This is a topic that can seem embarrassing sometimes to students your age. However, it's a very important safety issue for everyone, so please listen closely. You may remember we've had this topic before. I've talked to you last year, the year before. And if you do remember, that's great. I'm glad you remember some of the things we talked about. But we need to remember that just like a fire drill and tornado drills, this information is critical for everybody's safety. So because it's so important, we present this program every year so everybody can remember what to do. Teachers, after these next few questions, could you please pause the video for a class discussion? I'd like you to talk about, first of all, who can give us some safety rules that you have at home? And second, who can tell me some safety rules that you have at school? Now, there are rules everywhere, like speed limits, rules at recess, and rules in the classroom. They help us know what we can and can't do, what is safe or not safe. And when everyone knows them and follows them, then we're all safer. Each of us has personal rules called personal boundaries. Our boundaries determine what we do and don't do, who we share personal information with, how we communicate online, and what kind of physical contact we have with others. For example, you might have a personal boundary about whether or not you share clothes with your brother or sister. Or you might have a boundary that you'll hug your best friends, but not all your sports teammates. When someone tries to cross one of your rules, your personal boundaries, it can feel emotionally and physically awkward or uneasy. Let's talk about how it feels when we know that a situation isn't right or safe. And again, teachers, you could pause after these next three questions just for some class discussion. Think about, first, when someone breaks a rule or crosses your boundaries, how do you feel? Like upset, worried? What kind of feelings do you have? Secondly, how does your body feel? Does your stomach get upset or uncomfortable? And third, are there any feelings in the rest of your body when you're uncomfortable or upset? When we feel worried and nervous, when our stomach feels uncomfortable, our chest feels tight, or we feel shaky, these are clues that our bodies are giving us. Our bodies give us clues when something just isn't right. And it's important that we listen to those clues. Making safe decisions, taking care of our bodies, and being respectful of ourselves and others is important to God. Your parents brought you to church and presented you to God at baptism, and Jesus dwells within you. You are loved and cherished, and your body is a temple of the Holy Spirit. God does not intend for any harm to come to you, just as He does not intend for you to cause any other person harm. We are all made in God's likeness, and as such, we are made for greatness. We must honor and respect the boundaries of others, just as we expect our own boundaries to be honored and respected. One of the important times when we listen to our body's clues is if someone touches us in an unsafe way. Now, people touch other people all the time. Some touches make us feel really good, like when your friend gives you a high five at recess. Sometimes being touched makes us feel safe and happy, like when your mom or grandma gives you a good night hug. Other times, though, touches might not feel good. When someone is hit or kicked or has to get a shot at the doctor, that doesn't feel very good. There's another type of touch that isn't safe. There are certain areas of our bodies that are private, and we have personal boundaries about those private areas of our bodies. People, like a doctor or a nurse, they need permission to touch the private areas of your body. If someone else touches your private body parts, or if they ask you to touch their private body areas, you might get that uncomfortable feeling that tells you that the situation isn't safe. If you get that uncomfortable feeling and your body is giving you clues that the situation isn't safe, you have the right to say no and to get away, and you should tell an adult that you trust what has happened. This is true whether the person is an adult, a teenager, or even someone your own age, or someone younger. No one, no matter what their age, has the right to touch your private body parts without your permission and your parents' permission. It's also true whether the person is a stranger or someone you know. No one at school, at church, on a sports league, or in your neighborhood has the right to touch the private areas of your body, or to ask you to touch the private areas of their bodies. If someone touches you in a private area of your body, or does anything that gives you that uncomfortable feeling that something isn't right or safe, there are 3 important steps to take. You might have a poster in your room similar to this one. Remember the first step we learned? Say no, or stop, or leave me alone. Use a strong voice that makes it clear that you're serious. Second, go. Get away from that person immediately. If someone has tried to touch you inappropriately, you have the right to get away from them, even if it is an adult. Third, go tell a safe adult. Get some help with the situation. A safe adult may not be the same person for everyone. It might be a parent, a teacher, or other close relative. It is someone who cares about you and that you know will listen to you. If a person has touched the private areas of your body, or they asked you to touch the private areas of their body, you must tell your parent or another safe adult, even if they told you not to tell anyone, or they told you it's a secret. No adult should ever ask you to keep a secret from your parents. Remember, a secret is different from a surprise. A surprise will be shared eventually, like a party or a holiday. A secret is something that you are never supposed to share. So if an adult asks you to keep a secret, always tell your parent or another safe adult. If for any reason the first adult that you tell does not believe you, they don't believe what's happened, or they're not going to do something to keep you safe, tell a different adult. Keep telling until someone listens to you, believes you, and keeps you safe. Remember, we talked about the 3 steps to take if you feel a situation isn't safe. What are the 3 steps? Say no, get away, tell a safe adult. What should you do if someone tells you to keep the situation a secret and not to tell your parents? Tell a safe adult anyway. What should you do if a friend or a classmate tries to touch a private area of your body? What should you do? No, go tell. Now, just like there are rules and boundaries in the real world, there are rules and boundaries when you go online. So we need to be very careful when we're on a cell phone, a tablet, a computer, or even when you're playing video games. The most important thing to remember is to never talk to strangers. A stranger is someone that you or your parents don't know in real life. Online, almost everyone is a stranger. So it's important to never talk to anyone online that we do not know in the real world. Is it okay to play a video game online with a friend from school, assuming you have your parents' permission? Generally, yes. Is it okay to play a video game online with someone that you met online only in that game? No. Why not? Well, remember, they're strangers, and it's never safe to interact, talk with strangers online. You should always get your parents' permission before you get on a new website, sign up for a social media account, accept or request a friendship on social media, share a picture online, even to download a game or an app, you need your parents' permission. Why would it be so important to get your parents' permission before doing any of these things? Well, remember, parents can help you make safe decisions. They know a little bit more about these kinds of things. So anything online, you need an adult to help guide you. When you sign up for an online video game or create a username for a social media profile, you'll be asked to provide information about yourselves. And it's very important that you don't share certain information. Always ask your parent before entering information, such as your email or home address, your phone number, or where you go to school. We have to be very careful about sharing personal information online, because there are certain people online who are very dangerous. We call these people online predators. An online predator is someone who wants to meet or interact with children that they don't know. Sometimes these people who might hurt children or try to touch children, they want to do it inappropriately. They're online looking for children to do that. If someone that you and your parents don't know in real life tries to get to know you online, this should give you that uncomfortable feeling that we talked about earlier, that something just isn't right. If someone online sends you pictures and they ask for pictures of you, or they send you gifts or credits in a game you're playing, or they ask to meet you in real life, tell your parent, teacher, or another safe adult right away. Remember talking about trusting our body's clues when someone is making us feel uncomfortable? It's important to trust those clues when you're online too. If you ever feel uncomfortable about how someone is talking to you online, or when you're playing a video game, stop talking to them immediately. Tell a safe adult. Finally, we need to be very careful about the kinds of pictures we share online. It's important that you always get permission from your parents before you share a picture online. If anyone ever asks you to share a picture of you that shows the private areas of your body, you say no, and you tell a safe adult right away. If anyone ever tries to send you a picture that shows their private body parts, you need to set down the phone or the computer you're using, walk away, and tell an adult about it. It's the same rule that we talked about before. Say no, get away, tell a safe adult. Teachers, please pass out the handouts now for the students to take home while I review the information with your class. We've discussed these very important safety rules today. So before we're finished, let's talk about a few other safety rules. And you'll find most of these on the handout. Number 1, always use the buddy system. Never go places alone. Unsafe adults usually focus on kids that are alone. Always let someone know where you're going to go and who you're going to be with. Number 3 says a stranger, someone that you and your parents don't know. Never get into a car or go with a stranger or any person that makes you feel uncomfortable. If someone you don't know calls you over toward their car, do not get close to their vehicle. Get away from them and get help if needed. Number 4 has some of the tricks that unsafe adults might try to use to lure kids into going with them. So never go with a stranger, even if they say something like, "Oh, I've lost my pet, I need your help to find it." Or they might say, "I'm lost, can you give me directions?" Or, "Oh, your mom or dad, they're hurt, they're sick. They told me I'm supposed to pick you up." Or, "Hey, you won a contest and you're invited to this modeling tryout. Come with me." These are common lures that are used by child abductors. So it's important to know that safe adults Do not ask children that they don't know for help or directions. It's all right to be suspicious of any adult who seems to be too friendly. Trust yourself when it doesn't feel right. An unsafe adult is someone who makes you feel uncomfortable or unsafe, or they ask you to keep secrets, or they try to get too close to you. We talked about being safe online, and that's very, very important. Never tell anyone your name, your address, or your phone number, or the school that you go to when you're online. Never share your passwords with anyone but your parents. If someone says something mean to you over the computer, or they ask questions about your name, your school, or where you live over the computer, leave the computer right away and tell an adult you trust. When you're on social networking sites, never friend someone you don't personally know in real life. The internet is not a safe place to make new friends. You never know who you're really talking to. Some unsafe adults pretend to be kids online in order to trick kids into giving out their personal information. Never agree to meet someone in real life who you first met online. No one on the computer should talk about their private body areas, show pictures of their private body areas, or ask you about your body. Even if someone asks you, or they dare you to take a picture of yourself or anyone else that shows private body areas of their body, don't do it. If someone takes an inappropriate photo of you, immediately tell your parents or another safe adult. And remember, on number 9, it says, just as we want to be treated with respect, we must treat others with respect. We always give others privacy in the bathroom or when they're changing clothes. We don't ask to see or touch other people's private body areas. And we don't show others our private body areas. It's okay for your parents, doctors, and nurses to see your private body areas because it's their job to keep you healthy and safe. And above all, trust your feelings in regard to your safety. If a situation doesn't feel right, leave and tell a safe adult. Remember the 3 steps. If anyone tries to touch you inappropriately or they want to get you to touch them, remember, say no, go or get away from them, and tell a safe adult. Thanks for listening today, and please stay safe and have a great rest of the school year.